Hey everybody, you know who we are, Dr. J and GC here with another Q&A about genes and happy genes, unhappy genes. Today we are going to tear apart the myth that your turkey puts you to sleep on the couch if you celebrate Thanksgiving and feel like you've eaten just a little bit too much food. Now, of course, too much food can make you sleepy, there's no question. But the turkey, the tryptophan in the turkey is not the culprit as you think it is, right? You can find tryptophan in other foods, first of all, and you don't always fall asleep after you eat those. Dr. J is going to tell you where it lurks and the truth about the biochemical pathways that interact with said turkey, tryptophan.
Yeah, we should talk turkey for sure.
You're so corny.
Sorry, I had to do it. No, this is a an interesting topic because it's such a tradition. You got to eat turkey on Thanksgiving. It's the rules. But if you have certain genetic variants, it can actually be an adverse thing to do. And there are ways that tryptophan can be turned into 5-hydroxytryptophan and then serotonin and then melatonin. That can cause you to get sleepy and stuff after turkey. But if you have certain genetic variants, it actually is going to be a very negative thing for you. So let me share my screen because I want to take you through the biochemical pathways there.
Okay.
So you can see here's tryptophan here, and this is in the brain chemistry area. Tryptophan is converted through the enzyme tryptophan hydroxylase into 5-HTP, and then the dopamine decarboxylase into serotonin. And then the MAO gene, which we've talked about quite a bit, will break down tryptophan eventually into melatonin. So, yeah, that's when you could get sleepy. But the problem is, if you've got a genetic variant here, tryptophan takes a side road, if you will, and goes up here toward quinolinic and quinolinic acid. And you can see this is a danger zone because tryptophan can be converted into this quinolinic acid, which is, I'm going to drag this guy over here, neurotoxic, and it can lead to an increased risk of ALS, Alzheimer's, brain ischemia, Huntington's, and Parkinson's. So
Mm.
if you have that genetic variant, it's not, oh, you're immediately going to develop those issues. But if you've got that genetic variant, the risk of tryptophan going up this pathway and creating more quinolinic acid is much higher. I happen to be one of those people that has the TPH. I've got 3 of the TPH2 genes, genetic variants that slow down that enzyme. And so I do stay away from tryptophan. I can tell when I've eaten it because I get real irritable and emotional. And I'm wondering, when you think about families that have fights during maybe Thanksgiving dinner, if everybody gets grouchy afterwards. I don't know, I just had that thought. But the TPH can be upregulated. You can use certain cofactors to upregulate that. But the interesting thing, this TPH2, it's associated with impulsive aggressive symptoms and ADHD. Excess tryptophan, it can cause joint contractures of the elbows and interphalangeal joints of the fingers and thumbs, specifically the distal phalanges. That's the tips of the fingers. Fallen arches, something called an ulnar drift affecting the fingers of both hands, an unusual yet correctable feature where the fingers slant toward the ulnar side of the forearm. And you can see, I don't know if you can see my fingers. I have
Hmm.
that gene and they're crooked, especially this finger right there. Joint pain and laxity. These folks, if they eat too much tryptophan, are going to have difficulty holding an adjustment or keeping their joints in place. And then something called the adduction of the thumbs, where the thumbs are drawn into the palm. So some of the symptoms here too, anxiety, ADHD, OCD, paranoid schizophrenia, depression. It's bad. Something to watch out for. Pay attention when you eat your Thanksgiving turkey. Do you get sleepy or do you get irritable and aggressive and emotional? And you can spot that you might have an issue there.
Isn't it also in things like Swiss cheese? And there's other places that we find tryptophan. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Wine and chocolate and certain cheeses, especially the hard cheeses,
All the
often have
good stuff.
all the good stuff. Wine. And that's what we have at Thanksgiving dinner too, right? We
Mm.
have often there's chocolate there or wine or cheeses. So you load up on your tryptophan load can go really high. And if you've got those genetic variants and or the MAO, because tryptophan will be converted into serotonin. And if you can't get the serotonin out, that's another one that's going to cause some of the irritability and aggression and the ADD kind of symptoms. So pay attention to how you feel after that Thanksgiving turkey dinner. What I do is I get a little Cornish game hen and pretend like I'm having a Thanksgiving dinner, although it has a little bit of tryptophan in it, but not as high as the turkeys. So,
I wonder why the turkey has so much tryptophan.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
And do you have cranberry sauce?
Oh, yeah, you gotta have cranberry sauce. It's not Thanksgiving without cranberry sauce.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else we should know about tryptophan?
Yeah, let me show you the sliders on the My Happy Genes. So this is the slider for serotonin and tryptophan on the My Happy Genes report, and you can see anything past 30% is going to have a significant effect on your physiology. So this is actually mine, and I'm way up at 44%. And it's a good idea for me to avoid that. So here, chocolate, wine, hard cheeses, turkey, spinach is the other one
Nah.
are high in tryptophan, and spicy foods can increase irritability in those with MAO variants. But there's also, we have links everywhere, and this one is you can click there for a list of high tryptophan foods, raw soybeans, chia seeds, Romano, sesame, etc. So you can take a look at those, but there's also a really interesting article right here about the side effects of tryptophan, and it's just fascinating.
I remember when tryptophan was being pimped a lot as a supplement. I
Yeah,
don't remember what it was that they were saying it would do, but it was many years ago. But it was like everybody needs to take tryptophan.
yeah. Then there was a poisoning that occurred right around the time that Tylenol hit the skids too. But some of the side effects, drowsiness, nausea, and headaches, but it impaired liver function as well. For those people that have TPH gene, eye damage, disturbed protein metabolism, impaired brain function, things you wouldn't necessarily suspect with an
Mm.
amino acid like that. So take a look at that article. If you have a high TPH gene, and I'm going to show you where that is. So when we're looking at the genetic report, you can get your gene table in the mood and personality report. It contains that gene table as well. And every time you log in to the website and try to look at a report, it uploads your information every time, 675,000 SNPs. When we look at the gene table, we have the green, yellow, and red. Red ones are the one we're going to pay the most attention to. They're the homozygous variants. So I want to show you my TPH gene here. And you can see I've got one, two, three big red homozygous variants. And if you click on these, it'll show you what that enzyme does and how it works. And these are some of the things that are associated with the TPH gene, from susceptibility to addiction, bipolar, ADHD, and major depressive order, and early waking. Again, this is where the diet comes in. When we do the diet and lifestyle report, we take into consideration those genetic variants and tell you what to stay away from. And it isn't like 100% no turkey ever or no tryptophan
Mhm.
ever, but small amounts, because you can only process a tiny bit at a time.
That's good news. That if people have the TPH variant, they can still, once a year, unless you're going to sit down and eat a 12-pound bird yourself, you'll probably be okay.
Yeah. And when you understand how to modify that enzyme and make it work better to break down tryptophan, then your tolerance goes up. And so that's what we're about too. That's why we do the supplement recommendations based on your genes, according to the combination of genetic variants. But we get very specific and very detailed with our supplement recommendations so that we can increase our tolerance. It's not like you'll be able to eat all you want, but you can handle a little bit more than you would have if you didn't take the cofactors.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, people getting cranky at holiday times, there's definitely something about the gathering of people. But if you find that it is higher in you, like you feel more triggered than you might ordinarily in a gathering like that, maybe you've got the TPH thing going on.
Yeah, it's worth checking. And
Maybe
then it's about compassion too. Oh, wow. It wasn't me, it was my physiology going haywire there. And if I avoid the turkey and opt for something else, then I'm going to make the holiday a lot nicer, a lot easier to get through.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I love this talk about tryptophan and turkeys, and I'm very happy to report, selfishly, I do not have a TPH gene, so I'll be eating lots of turkey on Thanksgiving.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah. All right, everybody, we'll be back again with another Q&A. And before we go, I would like to ask you to subscribe and share if you think somebody else could benefit from this, maybe somebody in your family that's coming for Thanksgiving.
And
Share
you
the
know that
link.
they get a little irritable and grouchy.
Okay, we'll be back again soon.